Hey, welcome back, treasure hunters. I'm Joe, the treasure hunting dad. Today, I am going to show you a bunch of recent thrift store finds that I got out at Goodwill and a couple other thrift stores. So I will show you everything, tell you why I bought what I did, and hopefully the profit that I can make off of each item. So I'm really excited to be back. I got some thrift store finds to review with you. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, what I do is I go out to thrift stores, I search estate sales and anywhere else that I can find valuables and get a really good deal, and then turn around and flip those for a profit by selling them online. So enough talking, let's get into some of these thrift store finds. First thing I got here, this is a piece of studio pottery, pretty large pitcher slash vase, probably mostly going to be used as a vase. Really nicely made. What caught my eye about this was obviously the quality of the piece itself. It's very symmetrical. You can tell it was professionally made. The glaze is really nice. And obviously with any piece of studio pottery, you always want to check the bottom and see if there's some sort of marking, chop mark, or signature. This does have a mark here at the bottom. I can't really make it out. I think this might be David Batts. He was a Cleveland potter. I have numerous pieces that I've found of his out at the thrift stores and stuff. He does do this stoneware type look on a lot of his pottery, and I picked this up for about $5 at a Goodwill, and I'll probably price this. His work ranges, but I'll probably price this just around $50, just due to the size, and there is no damage or anything. It's in really good condition. Next piece here is another piece of studio pottery I found. This one I got at a local Savers thrift store. And it's just a pretty standard looking vase. It's got just kind of splotches of paint or glaze, but the inside is very nicely glazed in a blue. It's well made and it is signed here at the bottom. I have no idea what that says, not even a clue. I did post this to a local group, but I didn't get any. I got some likes and stuff, but I didn't get any definitive answers on what the signature might be. But this is a piece you can tell was professionally made. So I got this for a couple bucks at Savers, and I'll probably price this around 30 or 40 bucks. Next thing I got here, this is a hand-colored etching. You can tell it's an etching because there's a plate mark around the colored piece here where it was pressed down. And engravings usually have straight lines, like if you think, the $1 bill, the currency on there, usually have a lot of straight parallel lines. This is a little bit more freeform, so that's why it's an etching, is of an elk here. And this is titled, called the Elk. It's numbered 51 out of 100. I just don't know who signed it. There's a signature there. It's obviously a pretty small piece. On the back, it's framed nicely, and it says Seaside Art Gallery in Nags Head, North Carolina. But seeing that I can't ID the artist on this, it was only like $2 or $3 at Goodwill. So either way, it's not a big investment or anything. But I think if I can ID the artist on this, it'll help me price it. I have no clue what I would price this for now, but it'll be easy to ship and it's really nicely done and detailed. Next thing I got here, got this at Goodwill, and it was $5.19 or $29 or something. When I initially walked by and saw this, I thought it was just one of those like factory type pieces, but I decided to take a closer look, and it is actually a piece of studio pottery in kind of like a Japanese style, I guess. That's what I originally thought it was, like a piece of factory pottery from Japan. All of this is incised, looks like with one of those little rolling tools, but it's very well made, nicely glazed, and it is signed at the bottom here. And it'll be really hard to read, but it says Akagi. I did do some searches around that name. It's Akagi, and found a couple different Japanese potters that it could be, but I'm not exactly sure 100% because I didn't ID the signatures on a lot of those. They didn't have any, they just had the potter for sale. They didn't have any pictures of the signature. So either way, for $5, this is a very well made piece of studio pottery. And I think even if I can't nail down exactly who made this, I should be able to get at least $75 to $100. So next I found a pair of these lithographs here at Goodwill. And these were both originally done by J.J. Audubon. They are really nicely framed, same way. And this one is of a Canada Goose. I did look at these closer, and I think these are more, they're definitely not antiques. I think they're more of a modern reproduction, but seeing that they are professionally framed, both look really, they're in really good condition. These are actually engraved and printed by R. Havel, and he did a lot of printings and lithographs and stuff by J.J. Audubon. If you were able to find like an actual original Havel lithograph from J.J. Audubon, they sell for a lot of money. But I looked closer using a microscope. It just looks to me like these are a little bit more modern. But either way, I got both of them for $5.09. And the other one here is a saltwater marsh hen. And I should be able to sell the pair for at least $100, but maybe more. If they were originals, then it would be a lot more. But either way, J.J. Audubon stuff, I have sold a pair of lithographs from him before. They sell really well, and they're very collectible. So here's another lithograph I found that was professionally framed, and this is actually an older lithograph. And this lithograph was done by J. Nugent Fitch, and this is a double begonia. It's a hand-colored scientific lithograph here. I did look at this closer, and this definitely looks like an older lithograph to me. And I picked this piece up for also $5 at a Goodwill. It's in really good condition, and I've seen the older lithographs like this ranging from $100 to $200 for sale. So it's a good find, and this is in really good condition. So I should be able to make somewhere in between that. So next thing I got here, I also got for around $5 at a Goodwill. And this is kind of like a folk art painting on paper mache, actually. This is a board, but it's got this like brown paper mache over it. It is signed down here in the corner, but I cannot make out what it says. I tried looking using Google's image search to see if I could find some similar style paintings, but nothing really came up. And I can't read. I used a black light to try to read the signature down here, and I can't come up with anything that's showing any results. So I'm probably just going to sell this as is, just an older, probably mid-century style folk art painting here. Probably, I think, would be somewhere between $100 to $200 for this, and then see how that goes, and if I have to drop it down, I will. All right, now I got a couple pieces to show you that are a little bit larger pieces of art, so they're going to be difficult to hold, so I figure I would just put them up on the wall and show you this way. So I actually found two pieces by the same artist. Both were $10.19 at Goodwill, and they are oil paint on canvas, both done by artist Ruth Reed. There's the signature down there at the bottom. Both landscape. This is of looks to be a sawmill Just nice landscapes. This one's done in winter. And then here is the other one, pretty similar in style. Again, this is in a similar frame and stuff. So I found the pair, both of them at Goodwill again for $10.29, and I figure I should be able to sell each one for between 100 and 150 bucks. So here's the next piece I found. I got this for $11.29 at Goodwill, and this is a watercolor done by Bill Collins. It is signed there down in the lower right. And this is actually of Little Italy, which is outside of Cleveland. Just a kind of a sunset scene here on the street. Thought it was really cool. I liked how this sky, how it looks, especially over the lake sometimes with the different colors and everything. So I liked that, and I liked how you can see some lights on and the reflections off the cars and everything. So I thought it was really nice painting. I did do some searches around Bill Collins before I bought this and didn't really find anything besides he was involved in a lot of things in Cleveland and also had some art here and there. I did find a William Collins. I don't know if that is the same person, so I'm going to have to do a little more research, but for 11 bucks, I thought this was a really nice painting. Here's the next piece of art I found. I got this for $9.99 at a Savers, and you can see on this one, I need to take it out of the frame because the piece itself actually dropped down a bit in the matting. It's supposed to match up with all the paint, all the painting and flowers and vines or whatever they are around the outside. So it has slid down a bit, but it is signed down in the matting. And this is actually the second piece I found by this artist, Kathy Crowther. And this is obviously of two hummingbirds. Just thought it was super detailed, really nicely done, real colorful. The other one I found was of a jaguar. It's more of like kind of an African style. I don't know. I just thought this, I have seen her work listed at auction between, I don't know, 300 to upwards of 800. I just thought this was a really, really nicely done, beautiful piece of art here. So I think this was done pen and watercolor. Just the detail on the bird's wings and the body and everything and the vines. It's a really good find for only 10 bucks. So I picked this one up at Goodwill for, I believe it was like $10.29 or $11.29 or something like that. But this is a limited edition serigraph done by James Carter, and it is dated 1985. There's his signature, and it is 256 out of 275. So this immediately grabbed my attention. One, the size. Two, anytime, I know I say this a lot, but anytime I see really nice pieces of art like that are numbered, especially lower, and are signed in pencil and dated, that's technically vintage, I always try to figure out what the artist signature says. If I can't do that, I usually buy it unless it's like really expensive and I just don't have a good feeling about it. This one I was able to uncover in the store, so I just did a quick search, and his work was selling in the $200 to $400 range. This is professionally framed. It's in really good condition, professionally matted and everything. So it was definitely a really good find just for 10 or 11 bucks. So this was another Goodwill find. Picked this up for $5.99. And this is a watercolor still life, super detailed, really well done. Here's a closer look. You can see all the detail and stuff in the painting. This one was signed here at the bottom, M. Boyson, which is Marianne Boyson, and it has the OWS after, which is Ohio Watercolor Society. Anytime I see, which I do see kind of often, I get, not every time I go or anything, but I do see a lot of OWS, and sometimes the artists are more well-known. Marianne Boyson actually had a bunch of different auction results and pieces that were for sale and stuff. But some of the other ones aren't really that well-known. I'll buy them if they are really nicely done or, just catch my eye, or I think that I could sell them. But I don't buy every watercolor that just because it has OWS. Something to look at, especially depending on where you live or where you're looking at thrift stores and stuff, you'll probably see different watercolor societies for your state or area. Just something to keep in mind. That's what those mean when they have letters after them. I don't know. I really like this professionally framed and matted. There is a little bit of staining on the mat down in the right corner and on the left side, but it's not a huge deal because it's not impeding on the artwork at all. So if that really bothered somebody, they could just get it rematted and use the same frame even. But it was a really good find for just $6. Her work, I think I have this listed for around $250, but her work was in the $250 to $500 range. So that is all the thrift store finds that I'm going to review with you today. As always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If this is your first time, or if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button for me and like the video. It just helps me build the channel out and get in front of more people. I am still working on my guide, and hopefully I will get that wrapped up soon. Keep on the lookout for that. I will be giving away free access to all my subscribers, just so you can help me. You can review it, help me make it as helpful as possible. My next video that I will be making is more of an informational video, and it's going to go over all the different types of prints out there that you can find at the thrift stores. So it's going to go over, some tips and tricks on identifying the different types of prints and how you can tell if the print is more modern or something more valuable. So I really think that will help everyone out, especially if you're out at the thrift stores. There's certain things you can look for. I actually learned a lot when I was doing some research on that topic. And there are also some tools that can help you out too that I will be going over. So thanks. That's all I got. Stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you guys all soon. If you get out there, as always, good luck out there treasure hunting.